Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And I want to talk to you today about a very interesting topic and about specifically something that I discovered through my own trials, I guess, on my body. Um, and the story actually is about something very interesting that actually happens with honey, and probably most people wouldn't even know about it. I have been trying to collect some more information and to do this video, so finally I'm gonna do it today. And so let's go ahead and start it. So what I want to talk to you about today, actually, again, is something that I discovered about honey. Now, the backstory is, as I did a video, and looks like not many people watched it, unfortunately, but I had some bad things happen to me from the COVID virus that attacked my facial nerves. And it created this enormous pain, this and that. So I was actually trying to find ways at the time after this COVID infection of improving my health. And I ended up doing a lot of research about many different things, vitamins, waters, this and that. And I stumbled into the honey kind called Manuka honey that is actually um, manufactured or gathered specifically in New Zealand. So the best Manuka honey actually comes from New Zealand. There is a huge topic about this Manuka honey because there are many companies that have actually sold it illegally, and it has turned out that even I believe it was Costco and Walmart have been sued because companies were trying to sell fake Manuka honey, and it turned out that there's only a certain amount of honey that could be manufactured per year, and there's only a few companies that actually can export it. But talking about honey, and technically, I know you guys can say, well, Manuka honey is very expensive. Now, there's specifically Manuka honey has a substance that actually helps with fighting bacteria, and it helps the body in many different ways. And they have a rating on the Manuka honey, and the highest the rating is, the more expensive this Manuka honey becomes. So, obviously, when you get to this highest numbers with the bigger price point, this honey actually is not really a honey anymore for consumption. It becomes more of a medicine. And I did try different Manuka honeys. I bought them from different places, and I would say I completely agree that there are versions of the Manuka honey where the expensive one is only made for medical purposes, and you have the cheaper versions that you can actually consume with, let's say, on a daily basis with tea or different drinks, to sweeten, your drinks instead of using sugars or even sugar substitutes that are actually worse than the actual sugar. So I had just a weird idea, where I read about the Manuka honey that it has the capacity to fight bacteria big time. And actually, Manuka honey is famous at that side of the world, New Zealand, Australia, with its big fighting capacity against bacteria, and it is actually medically given to patients who are resistant to antibiotics, and when there's no um, other choice, there's no other way out, and you have to actually be put on Manuka honey in order to be able to, save the patient. So yes, I did try some of the things that I did with Manuka honey, but I also tried it with other honeys. So technically, this video is for you guys to understand that even normal honeys, and of course, I'm talking about quality honeys, because a lot of the honey that is sold out there is actually kind of fake because it has glucose. And you need to find out. I would definitely recommend, because that's what I have been buying um, in the last 4 or 5 years, ever since my problems with the COVID. I actually realized about, I read and researched, I did a deep research on this topic, and then I had to find and actually buy honeys there derived from mainly from New Zealand, because it looks like this is about the only last place on earth where there is no GMOs, or at least the bees, like, the flowers, where the bees collect this honey from, is, pretty much the last place on earth is New Zealand, where these flowers and forests would be untouched by humans, and then destroyed with chemicals and, what else, and GMOs and all this other crap. So pay attention to this, very important point, that if you buy honey, you need to make sure you don't go like to Costco, because Costco was supposed to sell some Manuka stuff. I've seen a few times, but I don't believe that the actual Manuka that they're claiming they're selling it is actually Manuka honey. So um, even with other honeys, if you want to buy like cheaper honeys, I have seen them in different stores. You can buy cheaper honeys. It doesn't need to be that expensive honey for the purpose of this video of what I'm trying to tell you. But I tried with normal honeys, and again, not something that you buy from like Kroger or like one of those grocery stores. But you need to get a little bit better honey to try this with, because I believe the substance in the honey is extremely important, obviously. And I had a situation where I've burned myself a few times through the years with my jobs, and it was a few years back that I burned my hand with coolant, hot coolant. Stupid mistake, something exploded and I didn't have control over it. So at the time, a friend of mine gave me unfortunately, a chemical based sun cream from one of those big chemical companies that manufactures actually perfumes. It's like a sun. It wasn't a sun tanning cream. It was something in that range, but it was more specific, and it was supposed to work on um, wounds or burns. So I did use it, but it was nasty. My skin, it was the inside of my forearm here. So you can imagine that soft skin. It kind of bubbled. It was red, this and that. I couldn't take showers for well, I took shower, but I had to save this part of the body to keep it dry, this and that. So it was a painful experience, where going, a few years later, and with my tries of finding out how I can improve my health in my body after the COVID, I got burnt again with hot coolant, and this time it was a smaller version. I guess, of the first burn, but it was still bad, and I was in pain, and I decided to use the honey that I had at the time with me, and I put on my skin. I did not put anything on top of it. I just kind of smudged it over the wound, the burn. And I gotta tell you, I've discovered the most amazing thing that I've never even realized that exists. Of course, later I've did some more research and it turned out exactly what I thought. But I'll tell you, the best thing that you can use for cuts and burns and similar stuff on your body is honey. And I will show you why in a second. But I realized when I started treating my burn with honey that first of all, my pain went away within maybe like 30 minutes. It was extremely fast. I just kind of forgot that there was no pain there. So there was no burning pain. Then the next thing is my skin never bubbled. It kind of got hot, it got red, but I kept on putting honey more and more and more on top of the burn until it looked like the skin kind of a little bit, it got a little bit rough. I would say kind of very strange way. And this happened in the next couple 3 days. But the time frame of how my burn got cured is insane. I would say probably 2 or 3 times faster if I would have done it or put chemicals or put one of those burnish strips or whatever they use at the pharmacies. And I always thought that, using the pharmacy stuff or whatever the doctors gave us should be okay or should be one of the best things, but it's not. It's like you go to a dermatologist, you will never hear them telling you that you can use actually honey for many different things on your skin. And that's where we are today. There are so many natural ways of actually healing your body that nobody talks, or there's only a very little small amount of number of people that actually do talk and that actually try to convince you. I'm not getting paid. This is my own experience of how I discovered that using honey is extremely good and extremely helpful for your cuts, your burns, whatever. And it's so good that actually acts better than you taking antibiotics, and it gives you a much better protection because honey fights off bacteria, and it literally acts as a shield on that cut or your burn. And I'll show you now what I've discovered, later in time, which was kind of, I guess it was backwards because I tried the things first and I was amazed. I didn't really think about it. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. And I've discovered this crazy power of honey. And just to kind of show you some things that I found online, this is some kind of website. I kind of actually pulled this off Google just to kind of see what is out there. I'm not getting paid. I've never seen this website before. I just typed honey healing properties, and this is what came out as one of the things. There's a company here, and it's called First Honey. If you want to check it out online, again, I'm not getting paid. I've never seen this company before. But the point of the matter is exactly what I was talking about. And the properties of honey, they actually have it right here. So I will recommend you Manuka honey, but I have tried this with other type of honeys. So I believe the potential of honey is extremely high, and you can use it even with cheaper honey. It doesn't necessarily need to be Manuka. But as you can see here, the natural choice of first aid for minor cuts and burns. it's just crazy how I discovered this after the fact, that actually these are natural remedies and they're actually working, and they work in a very, very crazy way to help your body to heal faster. And what else we have here? Um, yeah, you see right here. So honey has multiple things that does when you use it for, healing your wounds. So the first thing is it actually cleans your wound naturally, and then it provides long-lasting infection protection through the creation of a physical barrier. That's a fact, and then creates a moist, low pH environment that supports new tissue formation and assists wound healing. So what I discovered when I use honey on, like say, a burn or even a cut, I would put the honey on my skin, and then I would use a toilet paper is probably one of the best things, or maybe a tissue, paper tissues, and just kind of wrap it around, because if it's a nasty cut, you don't want to leave it open. And of course, the honey, what happens with the honey will start melting because the temperature from your body. So you can use a paper and then maybe a piece of tape to kind of keep the paper on top of your wound. And trust me, you're not going to need to keep this for too long. Sometimes even hours, even just a few hours with honey on your cut will help you to recover extremely fast. I have just been amazed by how fast um, wounds recover when you treat them with honey. And one of the other things, so this is what I've actually wanted to show you here, is that honey has been used as a wound healing agent for centuries. I would actually claim that it's probably thousands of years that we have used honey. And studies have shown that honey has several properties that are effective in promoting wound healing. The first thing is antibacterial activity. That was the thing that actually made me consider use honey in my burn, because I was thinking about, I was reading and researching the Manuka honey properties, and they were mentioning big time, about their antibacterial capacity or power to fight bacteria. And honey contains enzymes and hydrogen peroxide, which have antibacterial properties. We use actually hydrogen peroxide in these bottles that you have to go and buy and this and that. So why would you actually buy just that separate one thing that actually is already in the honey? So that's the crazy thing. But yet they sell you peroxide in the pharmacies just to get you money. So this helps to prevent infection and wounds, which can slow down the healing process. So anti-inflammatory properties. This is a big power. Anti-inflammatory properties. Honey has the anti-inflammatory effects, which can reduce swelling and pain in wounds. Again, pain and swelling. You try honey on your cut or your wound, you will see how fast. I mean, I have been just amazed how fast the pain goes away. And then another thing that it has is moisturizing effects. Honey is a humectant, which means it attracts and retains moisture. This helps to keep the wound moist, which is essential for healing. Another thing, promotes collagen production. Honey stimulates the production of a collagen, which is a protein that helps to form new tissue and scar. And amazing, just crazy deal with this natural properties of honey. So I would finish this video here, because you can try to do your own research. Of course, you don't need to base everything on my opinion, but my experience, I would say that I would never use anything else for any kind of burns on her or cuts besides honey. So this is the best kept secret that no one, or even I would say very few people are actually talking about. So people don't really know about it because the doctors are certainly not telling us. But the best protection for wounds or against wounds and bacteria is actually your best friend for many centuries, and that's honey. Now, there's an issue with actually getting the proper clean honey, so you got to be careful where you buy this honey from. Like I said again, and try to avoid getting it. Always read the labels on the honey, and I will show you in a second, like what I have gotten from some places. So this is the honey. This is a honey that I have actually bought before, and that's what I use even for consumption, regular consumption. But this would be a very good alternative to use on your wounds or your burns. And as you can see, it's a New Zealand honey, and it's a raw multifloral. Now, the best medical, I would say, or for medicinal purposes, Manuka honey actually comes from single, not multifloral. You can read about this more on Google, but still, even this honey here, that is a very good price. I've gotten on a very good deal because this is a 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds. That's a huge amount of honey, and it takes a long time, of course, to consume this unless you're consuming it a lot. But I have used a similar types of this honey, like here, Manuka, or even regular honey from other brands. But my advice is to be careful where you buy it from. Try to avoid getting honey from Europe or from the United States. Some countries in South America may be okay, but I try to focus of getting honey from New Zealand and Australia, and that's the only honey that I actually get. And again, best kept secret for wound and burns and cuts is actually honey. It's not specifically Manuka honey, but it is honey. And you should, next time something happens to you guys and you want to use a natural remedy, this is it. It's actually honey and Manuka honey wound dressing. That's what it's that's what you can use it for. And like I said, enormous potential, and it's a proven fact. It's medically proven, and I highly advise it. Of course, Manuka honey specifically has a better medicinal properties, but even with normal honeys, you can try and you're gonna see an enormous difference when you use it for that reason. So again, very crazy experience that I went through and discovered this on my own, and then later did more research to find out why this was happening. Even though originally I did not know, I did know about the bacterial properties, antibacterial properties, but I didn't know that I can actually use it on my skin. It was kind of a weird type of a thing, and just like, I did an experiment, and actually I was extremely surprised of how well this experiment went. So again, best kept secret. One of the properties for one of the properties of honey, where most people use honey, for kind of sweetening their drinks. Actually, honey is an extremely important medicine that could be used on people's bodies. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and please hit those like and subscribe buttons, guys, because your support helps me to run this channel and make more videos like these. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.